welcome to today's edition of the program, Counting the Years in Love. It's so good to know that you're watching, and truly this program has been a source of blessings to you. Thanks for the feedback. The program, if you're just joining for the very first time, is a program designed for couples who have been married for years. We bring them to come share their marital experiences with us, and so far so good. We've had amazing couples with beautiful stories that have really touched a lot of people. It's so good to know that you're watching today, and we have another wonderful couple in the house today for our discussion, and I know that something you will pick from their story today. Keep watching. The program is Counting the Years in Love. I'll introduce them after the break. I am E. Wonder. Stay tuned. Welcome back. Counting the Years in Love is the program. And straight up, I'll introduce my guest couple for today. I'll be discussing with Pastor and Mrs. Clement Ola. Welcome, sir.
Thank you very much.
Madam, welcome.
Thank you, ma'am.
It's so good to meet you.
Thank you.
You're really beautiful.
Thank you, ma'am.
I've been asking, sir, I don't know your wife. I don't know your wife. I mean, only for me to see this beautiful woman. How can you get you?
It's God's. The last day.
Welcome, sir.
Thank you.
Welcome. All right. So, for how long have you been married?
Thank you very much. I think as at today, our marriage is about 30 years and 5 days.
Oh my God, 30 years?
Yeah, 30 years and 5 days. From the 2nd of March 1990 till date.
Wow, I'm shocked. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
You guys don't look it at all. Wow, that's so good to know. That's so good to know. So, how did you meet?
I think we are from the same community, and actually from my father's house to his father's house is barely less than 500 meters, not up to a kilometer.
Okay, so you didn't
so
shoot
we
far
grew
at
up,
all.
no, we grew up in the same neighborhood.
So you just decided to shoot your shot at a very close range?
Yeah.
All right. So you saw this beautiful woman, and how did you decide to tell us how it happened, how you met her? That's the question I asked.
Okay. Basically, in those days, I may say, because it's about 30 years
30
now.
is a long time.
Well, in those days, you know, being that we grew up from the same neighborhood, we didn't attend the same primary school anyway. But somehow, I think I met her when she was in primary 5.
Whoa.
Yeah, she was in primary 5. Then I think she should be roughly 14, 15 or so. That was when we met. And then it was not like a normal dating something or something. Once you located a lady and you wanted her to be your wife, if you've gotten the consent of your own parents, okay, you now proceed to the parents of the lady. Okay. And the traditional way of doing it then was upon the presentation of 3 pieces of kola nut. That is what you use to signify your intention. I want this flower in your house to be mine. Okay. And that is how it was done.
All right. So when he came over, what was your, what did you say? How did it feel at that age that somebody was coming for your hand in marriage?
Actually, that time, yeah, I did not even feel anything, because You know, it's long time ago.
Yeah.
And when a man came to ask her in your marriage, you don't have any say. It's only your parents. Whatever thing that they say that you
Okay.
follow.
Wow. 30 years ago. Wow. So things happened that way as of 30 years ago. So and your parents, they decided for you. And so any regrets? How?
No, I didn't regret, and there's no regret.
So a man you've not met before came, you married him. So okay, how did you go about the proposal? Just the kola nut thing that you mentioned?
Yeah, it's just basically the presentation of the kola nut. And if I remember, I think that was done precisely on the 8th of November 1988.
Like you're good with dates.
Yeah, I was actually in SS2.
Okay.
And then she was like primary 6, about to write common entrance or something. But you know, when that happened, after a while, my dad will take some family members, we drink, go back. We've come to ask in respect of the message that we sent our son.
Okay.
And that, you know, that's how it was done traditionally.
Okay.
So by the time the approval was given, then the real matrimonial obligations now started. And being that I was like a year or so, or let's say a year and a half before the end of my secondary school education, my dad had to take his time, do it gradually. By the time I left secondary school in November 1989, then he started fast tracking the something. So 4 months after I left secondary school, I was a potential husband.
Sir, please, your story. I don't get it. You got married while in secondary school, so to speak. You were still a teenager.
Yeah.
Were you under pressure? Why?
Very sincerely speaking, I wasn't under any pressure.
So,
but the truth of the matter is that I had a very cordial relationship with my dad.
okay.
And there was something that he was suffering. Though we didn't see it as teenagers at that time. Me and my younger sister were like, oh, we're just two. We had everything to ourselves. We had all the time and everything. We got all the attentions we needed and everything. But deep down between my mom and my dad, they were crying silently because they never had a large number of children that they would have loved to have. So because of that, based
but
on
not like you were an only child.
Yeah.
You were an only child.
Only son. I have a younger sister. We're just two.
Two of you. Okay.
Yeah, we're just two. Myself and my younger sister.
Okay.
So based on that, and the intimacy between me and my dad, I can't remember saying no to anything my dad ever said.
Wow.
And he will always tell me, I cannot mislead you. A time will come, I know you'll be more intelligent than me, but just follow me. And we're just so close as this. So when he sold the idea of this, early marriage to me, with the assurance everything will be in place, I'm around, you will not lack anything, you will not suffer anything, wherever you want to go, you go, and everything. And I started looking out. So it was essentially between me and my dad.
So your dad practically married for you?
He did.
Wow.
He did.
Interesting. Wow. If you're just joining us, the program is Counting the Years in Love. I really find this story interesting. I haven't heard something like this for a very, very, very long time. We'll be going on a break. When we return, we continue with the program. Stay with us. Welcome back. If you just joined us, the program is Counting the Years in Love, and our guest couple for today is Pastor and Mrs. Clement Ola. Wow. I can't help laughing because it's really fascinating. Your story is really, really interesting. All right, so you got married to her finally. When your intentions, you made it known your father married her, and you decided to live together. Were you staying with your father, or he got you a place?
No, I was staying With my dad.
Okay, with your
I
dad.
was staying in my father's compound.
So how did it feel? Because it's not like you had the urge, you really wanted to, for your father practically talked you into getting married. You listened to him because you had a cordial relationship with him.
Yeah.
So you've married this woman, living with you. What didn't you feel straight? How did you feel? Want to hear that experience?
No, I didn't really feel strange. This is the truth.
Okay.
My dad is one man that if you are a bachelor, maybe a single guy, a single lady, and you see my dad interacting with his wife for the very first day, you will long to get married.
Really?
So by the time we, finally got married to each other, it's like I had an existing template from where I was operating.
My God. Ma, so let's hear your experience. The first time, he married you, you were living with them. How did you feel? Considering the fact that he was still staying under his father's roof.
Yeah, how did I feel is, when I got married, that time, I will tell you that I did not even know anything.
Exactly.
Concerning man.
Exactly.
When we got married, in the night, we separate our bed. He will be on his bed, me, I will be in my bed.
Okay.
Because when I'm going, my mother did not
educate you.
That
Okay.
if you go, this what is going to happen. And him too is separate way, like we just, even if we are outside, say because during heat period we want to receive breeze outside, he will pull his mat separate. I will put my mat. It was really funny then. But later on, there's a day that Papa saying this altar that if you are getting married, your parents, they will not tell you what you are going there to go and do between woman and a man. Right. That Holy Ghost that will take. So that is what happened.
Okay. So at what point did you decide to, because for what she just said, you didn't say that. Put in your mat, you're having a separate bed and all that. So at what point did you now take up the responsibility of a husband?
Okay. Taking up the responsibility of the husband, I would say maybe even before we got married, I knew my lines of responsibility, and I've been, extending my obligation, my responsibilities to her and all those things. Because, before even I left secondary school and even went to higher institution, I would live all our life as businessmen. As a businessman, sorry. So what I did essentially is that whenever I go out, even if a friend comes to see me and I'm going out to see that friend over and coming back, she's sure she will get something. So that's been our tradition.
All right.
So it was not like somebody, started telling me you have to do this way, you have to do that. No. I know those things myself.
Okay, you knew those things even before you got married. But what you didn't know is how
I saw it.
It's hard to be the intimate part of
the intimate part of it. And like she rightly said, I wouldn't know how it happened, but I think finally it happened. And,
of course it has to happen.
Yeah.
All right, so when did you record your biggest crisis?
The biggest crisis, I would say, occurred in this marriage exactly 6 years after. Because sometimes in 1996, then we had my first daughter like 5 years earlier, and the younger brother was like getting to 2. Okay. Precisely, I think around the month of March, we had a little misunderstanding. Very sincerely speaking, if 100 times of that kind of thing happened today, I could just pat her on the back and say, lady, forget about those things. It's the devil trying to test us. But that time,
we're still young.
Sincerely, we're still young, and the juvenile delinquency was playing, and very sincerely speaking, we know the name of God only by name, not by relationship. So there were a lot of things that I would do then on my own, trusting in my understanding, and whatever I feel I said, which was to my own confident. I mean, convenient was final. A kind of. So when this thing came, it broke us apart. And I remember the thing happened later part of the afternoon. The mom was just coming back from farm, and for the first time, she saw us exchanging words. I was very furious, and all that, and all that, and all that. And she just said, "Okay, come, let's go. Maybe much later in the evening you will come back." But we didn't know that the devil was really playing a game. That singular act kept us away from each other for 7 years and 8 months.
What?
Yeah.
7
From
years?
March 1996 to December 2003, we separated.
Oh, sorry. What was the problem?
That's what I've told you. There was really no problem. It's just like, this kind of, is it a youth tendency, or maybe ego, or whatever, as of today, she doesn't know the cause, I don't know the cause, but we knew that we had a misunderstanding. We were not actually fighting. Just come, let's go. That evening passed, the next day passed, the next day months graduated into years and everything. And at a point, when something happened like that, you start hearing hearsay. People will be coming to you with different versions of the whole thing. People that come to me from our own side, they will say something different. The one that will go to her from our own side, they will say something different. So the confusion became like a mountain, a kind of.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was so. Was she trying? Were the families trying to bring you together, and you didn't want, or her family? I mean, what was going on with it? Almost 8 years. That's a whole.
The father is a very peaceful man.
Okay.
Very peaceful man. Very, very peaceful man. And my dad is also a peaceful man. But I think the larger part of the problem was with me.
Okay.
That is the truth.
Okay.
The larger part of the problem was with me. Because, at that time, as at 1996, I had graduated and I had come out from, higher institutions. So I was like looking at myself, I'm handsome, I'm a big boy, no woman can tell me no, and all those things. So whatever thing that my dad would say to me, immediately, once he called me and is going along that side, I will become very, very angry. But thank God for Jesus.
Thank God for Jesus.
Thank God for Jesus.
Separated for almost 8 years and you're back. So how did that happen? You're coming back.
Yeah, this was what happened when I came to Lagos. There was this guy we were from the same place, not the same village anyway. Then I think there was a day he took me to a church. I went. When I went to that church that day, I came back and look at the chain. Let me show you something. The chain of confusion that Satan was trying to put in place, because me and her were having problem, and she and my sister are very close. Me and my sister also started having problem. So at a point, it's like two of them were a very formidable team against me as a Lone Ranger, and I didn't bother. So by the time I came to Lagos, and the first day I went to the church, somewhere around Ojo Barras, because I was staying around that side. I went to the church, I came back, I was sleeping that night, and it's like something was just talking to me. The following day, I went to the brother's shop. He used to be a photographer, and I explained these things to him. And he looked at me, he said, no problem, we'll pray about it. Like 3 days back, he came back to me and said, if I can make up my mind based on what the Spirit of God was telling me and reconcile, it will be good for me for my entire life. Initially it was very bad, because I would look back and I would begin to look at the exchange of words we had and everything, but he pressurized me and I yielded to the pressure. So, and by December 2003, when I made up my mind and said I was going back to get her, I went back home. My dad was like, but I told you this thing many years ago, you didn't hear. Now you come, you think I will just follow you like that. You suffered me that time, I will suffer you now. So I'm not even going with you. He thought I was going to beg him and say, Dad, sorry, nah. I said, okay, don't worry. Whether you go with me or you don't go, I will wear ordinary slippers and shortneck. I will go and bring my wife. It's God that asked me to come, so I don't need any man's support. Wow. He was like, what was giving me this kind of confidence? And I just went that day, I think it was on the evening of December 26th,
You're very good
2003.
with dates.
I went there, and after I explained everything to my father-in-law, I remember what I said to him was, please sir, I'm sorry. It's not about who is wrong or who is right, but it's about who wants to make peace. So I have come to have my wife back. The man just put his face down for like 30 minutes. You know, under that kind of situation, a lot of
Very
things would have been
tense.
running in my mind. Will he bring up his face and ask for his cutlass? Will he do this? So I was just watching, but by the time he brought up his face, he just called my wife, where she was staying with the mom and the siblings. She came and she said, this is your wife. I didn't give her to another man, and I didn't collect wine or kola nut from another man. When do you want to go?
Wow.
It was like,
Wow.
I was as surprised as you are.
Wow.
And then I told her we'll go on the 28th. Then after that, for the first time in that number, that length of time, me and my wife now came to the corner, and she was like telling me, okay, just hold on, let me hand over one or two things to my younger one, show them the things, then we'll start going. So I think eventually we left the village on the 30th of December, 2003,
Madam,
and came to Lagos.
well done. Well done. What? Just like that?
Yeah, just like
so,
that.
okay, so what if she had gotten married to someone else?
Well, I think...
I mean, you just left a woman that didn't do... I don't know if she did anything, but you can't even tell
No,
if she did
no.
anything.
No.
You
It's
know,
not. It's not
almost
for
8
anything.
years.
I can't say this was the offense.
Now I understand. I get it when Papa said boys don't get married. So
Yeah,
it's only
yeah,
men
yeah,
that really
yeah.
get married.
Yeah.
Because you got married, you were less than 20 when you got married, actually.
Yeah, 18 plus.
So what did you expect? So when, at the time you matured, that God stepped in,
Yeah.
that was when all your ego and as a man and everything dropped, and you decided to go
It
back.
didn't drop. It died.
It died.
It
Ah,
died.
right. Praise God that it died. Madam, well done for the
Thank you,
second
ma'am.
time.
Thank
So
you.
how did you feel when it came back?
When it came back, I did not feel anything, because when it happened, my mind was not in
You were not
any
scared.
other
Okay.
thing, or maybe getting married to another man. No.
Did you believe it was
I
going to
was
come
like,
back?
yes,
Or you-
I believe, because I know that I did not do anything that can break our marriage.
So, but you stayed for a very long time.
I
7 years going to 8 years.
7 years. Yes.
And you still believe it was going to come back.
7 years. I
Is
did
that
not
faith
pray
or
any
what?
bad prayer at all, because I know that.
So
it
you were
will
just
come
sitting
back.
jejely waiting for him. Excuse my language. Wow, that's beautiful.
You know, that 7 years,
Yeah.
it just be like 7 months then.
Wow.
Because I did not feel anything.
Wow. This is really amazing.
Because there is no phone call, nothing. Even when he's still in village, we can pass ourselves as if we didn't know each other. And we have 2 kids that time.
And with you or with his parents?
One was with me.
The other was with Wow, thank God. This is so fascinating. If you're watching, this is Counting the Years in Love. I'm sure this couple's story should strike something in you. And if your marriage is at the verge of collapsing, you should start to think of their story and make sure it doesn't happen. We'll be going on another break. When we return, we'll continue with the program. Stay with us. Welcome back. Counting the Years in Love is the program, and we're discussing with Pastor and Mrs. Clement Ola. They've been married for 30 years, like he said, and 5 days. Today, Indeed, their story is really fascinating. If you're just joining us, you've missed a lot, but you can still catch up. Or better still, check out our YouTube and you will see the whole of it, the whole of the gist, as a matter of fact. All right, sir, what, if you look back today, what's your biggest regret?
My biggest regret in this marriage,
Yes, sir.
I would say, was the period that I made her pass through stress unnecessarily for 7 years and 8 months. Aside from that, there's no regret. Marriage is blessed with 6 kids, 2 boys and 4 girls.
So you go back, had additional 4?
Yeah. Between 2003 and now, when she returned back, we had 4 kids, a boy and 3 girls.
Interesting. All right, so ma'am, if you were to turn the hand of time, what would you like to change? You, ma'am.
Okay, me. What I would like to change is that, you know, that time, even like now, I was like, oh, because I don't even know what is love that time.
Okay.
But that is my only regret that I have.
I wish you understood better before you went
yeah,
into marriage.
Yeah. I know that the 7 years that we stay apart,
it wouldn't have happened because you probably would have been more mature before getting married. Okay. And what would you like to advise people based on that?
What I will advise people is that whatever thing that come into your marriage, just believe God. Don't rush. Don't rush into, oh, let me leave this one and go to another one. Because the one that you go to, you don't even know what is in that one. So I will advise them to stay. Patience is key.
All right. So, based on your experience marrying that early, what do you have to say concerning early marriage?
Oh, well, early marriage is good. It's not really very bad, but then there are a lot of things that must be in place running for you.
Okay.
Like then, even when I got married very early, I thought I got married before my SSC result came out. And when I passed, my dad was there supporting me, even though I've been a businessman going up and down, but he has the money and I do the runnings and things were just very easy. So if you have a support and people that could advise you and guide you the right way, there's no big deal in early marriage. And most importantly now, you know, if you see my kids, you actually think they are my younger ones.
Of course, me.
You actually think they are my younger ones. Even the boy that is here, the one that was born in 2004, a number of times, if my wife is saying my son, this drivers, you know, cattle riders, people in the market, did you say is your brother or is your son? You know, all those things. And I didn't even know that that one is the third. So it's very, very good.
Wow.
Very, very
okay,
good.
but you just said if you're well guided, but the issue you had wasn't actually about guidance, because if it's for guidance, I'm sure your dad gave it to you. It was
my dad gave it to me. My own ego.
That's the point. So you need to actually work on yourself. You need to be ready, position yourself properly, you know, to saying that you're really truly ready if you want to get married early, you know. But then you should mature as a matter of fact.
Mature as a man.
Not as in, yes, you know, physically, emotionally, and everything, and otherwise maturity is actually key. Okay, so what are her qualities? The things you saw in her that made you go for her. What are those qualities in her that could not even, you couldn't really, could not stand the test of time, as at that time of 7 years plus that you left her? What are those
you see, to be very sincere, you know, that time it was not really about what quality you saw in a woman or this, that. As a small boy growing up then, the whole focus was on beauty.
Oh.
Is she beautiful? Yes, as you can see, even at 46, she's still very beautiful.
Wow.
I need to tell you her age before you believe. So the whole thing at that time was, is she beautiful? All this, that, and all that. But the truth, I must give it to her, is that when we settled down to the real business of marriage, me taking my place as a husband and she taking her place as a wife, she brought out everything that was just necessary to sustain our relationship. Yeah, so if I were to be a journalist, I would say she's my editor-in-chief.
Lovely, nice one, nice one. Wow, good to know. All right, there's this part in the program that, well, I didn't tell you and I don't have to tell you. When last did you serenade her? When last did you sing a beautiful love song to her?
Oh, we do that maybe every month. You know, I travel a lot, so whenever I go out and I'm coming back, at times I come in with a song, especially if it is not in the heart of the night, but most if it is in the night, I come back. You know, there may be no need for all those fanfare because I'm entering the yard, a lot of people are sleeping. But if I'm coming in the afternoon, they always receive me with a song from the
song. So I'm not talking about God is good. I'm talking about a love song. Anyway, I want you to sing for her. Those beautiful songs, love songs, you sing for her.
I should sing well for her. This is very prompt. How do I comfort them? How do I comfort them? I think the last one I sang for her was she's my African queen song.
I don't know. I just wanted to sing
about a week ago.
About a week ago.
About a week ago.
Ah, you tried doing it, but you
about a week ago.
Pasta.
It's my handbag, as you can see now, so I can't do with that.
Okay, sing something beautiful. You can do the African Queen. Let me free you. You can do that one.
Okay. You are my African. Yeah. You are supposed to compliment. I used to compliment the husband.
All right, she's the girl of your dream, right?
Yeah,
no, I'm not helping. I'm just saying it.
Yeah, she is.
You've not sang it actually, sir.
The song.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. Sorry for putting you on the spot. But you have to do
this. This is serious. I love you. How is that? This one is very difficult to do. They took me on away, so I'm not well coordinated to do something.
It's okay.
Yeah, she just took me away.
All right. I free you. I free you.
Thank you very much.
Wow. Such an amazing time we're having right here on the program, Counting the Years in Love. Our guest couple today, of course, you can tell for yourself, Pastor and Mrs. Clement Ola. It's been an amazing time. Thank you so much for coming on the program. So even though I asked for advice, based on what we're talking about, officially, just say something to the people watching you. Advice intending couples who have been married for years, probably going through one problem or the other. Just advise them.
Well, the advice I will give to other couples or intending couple outside there is the father factor is very important in marriage and also very important spiritually. I think we struggle with quite a number of things that has to do with, a personality issue and all those things. But immediately we got here and we started listening to Papa's preaching. In fact, it was like Jesus became stationed in our home and everything fell into place. So the important thing is the God factor in marriage. It doesn't matter, like in our own case here, when we got married, I was not a godly person. But immediately we accepted Jesus Christ as our Lord and Savior. We made him the head of the home and is doing a great deal of work. So the father factor is very important, and then the place of God, Jesus Christ in your marriage cannot be denied. Once you make him the head, he leads, and you and the wife follows, and the children will follow in the same direction.
Thank you so much. Madam actually advised us before. Do you have an additional thing you wanted to say?
Not really.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We truly appreciate you coming. God bless you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yes, we appreciate you.
Much.
Wow, this is where we draw the curtains on this edition of the program, Counting the Years in Love. Until we come your way again next time, we want to say stay out of trouble, always be good, and know that Jesus loves you. Most importantly, put God first in your marital relationship and you go places. On behalf of the media and production team, we say bye-bye. I am E. Wonder.